Donald Trump's rise to the presidency of the United States is one of the most extraordinary and complex political journeys in modern American history. His path to power was shaped by his background as a businessman, reality TV star, and political outsider, culminating in an unexpected victory in the 2016 presidential election. To understand how Trump came to power, we need to look at several key stages of his career, from his roots in business and entertainment to his dramatic success in the political arena. Donald John Trump was born on June 14, 1946, in Queens, New York to Fred Trump, a successful real estate developer. Growing up in a wealthy family, Donald was introduced to business early. He attended the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania, where he graduated with a degree in economics. After finishing his education, Trump took over the family business, which he renamed the Trump Organization. Initially, Trump focused on expanding his family's real estate business in New York City. He built iconic properties, such as Trump Tower in Manhattan, and over time, his business empire expanded into hotels, casinos, and resorts. Trump's name became synonymous with luxury and wealth, and his properties were considered symbols of success. However, his business ventures were not without controversy, including multiple bankruptcies, particularly in the casino and real estate sectors. Despite these financial struggles, Trump managed to maintain his public image as a successful businessman. In the early 2000s, Trump ventured into the world of television. His reality TV show, The Apprentice, debuted in 2004 and became an instant hit. The show portrayed Trump as a confident and decisive businessman who would fire contestants with his famous line, "You're fired." The success of the show elevated Trump's profile beyond the world of real estate and helped solidify his image as a larger-than-life figure. It was during this period that Trump began expressing his interest in politics, though he had not yet made serious moves to enter the political arena. Although Trump had made occasional public statements about political issues, it wasn't until the early 2010s that he seriously considered running for office. His involvement in the birther movement, where he questioned President Barack Obama's birthplace without evidence, drew considerable attention and made Trump a controversial figure. His outspoken criticism of Obama, as well as other political figures, placed him in the public eye as a political outsider. Trump's political views seemed to evolve over time. He had been a registered Democrat for many years, donating to Democratic politicians such as Bill and Hillary Clinton. However, by 2012, he became more vocal in his opposition to President Obama and began publicly aligning himself with more conservative views. By 2016, Trump officially switched his party affiliation to Republican and began considering a run for the presidency. In June 2015, Trump announced his candidacy for president, shocking both political analysts and the public. His campaign launch speech was controversial from the start. Trump declared, "Make America Great Again," and promised to tackle issues such as illegal immigration, crime, and trade deals that he claimed were hurting American workers. He also made a highly inflammatory statement about Mexico, saying, "When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists." This remark set the tone for his campaign, immediately attracting attention but also generating backlash. At first, many viewed Trump's entry into politics as a publicity stunt, dismissing him as an outsider with no real chance. Yet, his unconventional approach began to resonate with a large segment of the American electorate who were frustrated with the political establishment. His blunt, unfiltered style and willingness to challenge political correctness helped him gain a loyal following, especially among working-class voters. When the Republican primaries began in 2016, many experts believed Trump had little chance of winning the party's nomination. The Republican field was crowded with more experienced politicians like Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, and John Kasich, all of whom had established political careers and traditional credentials. Trump, on the other hand, had no political experience and was seen as a political outsider. However, he quickly proved his detractors wrong. Trump's rise during the primaries was driven by several factors. Trump's background in reality television helped him dominate media coverage. His inflammatory comments and controversies generated constant news cycles, keeping him in the public eye. The more the media covered him, the more his visibility increased, helping to build momentum for his campaign. Trump tapped into the anger and frustration of voters who felt left behind by both major political parties. His message resonated with working-class Americans, particularly in industrial regions, who were upset about job losses, economic inequality, and the effects of globalization. Trump promised to bring jobs back to the U.S., renegotiate trade deals, and restore American greatness. Trump positioned himself as an outsider who was not part of the Washington political elite. He promised to drain the swamp of corruption and shake up the political system. This message resonated particularly with voters who were frustrated by gridlock in Washington and felt that the government was not serving their interests. Despite his many controversies and the attempts by the Republican establishment to undermine his candidacy, Trump steadily won primary contests and racked up delegates, eventually securing the Republican nomination by May 2016. Once Trump had secured the Republican nomination, he faced off against Hillary Clinton, the Democratic nominee, in the general election. Clinton, the former First Lady, Senator, and Secretary of State, was the most experienced candidate in the field. She was widely seen as the establishment candidate, while Trump was viewed as an outsider with no political experience. The 2016 election quickly became a bitter and polarizing contest. Trump's campaign focused on his anti-establishment message, while Clinton positioned herself as the experienced, policy-focused candidate. Key issues in the election included: Trump made immigration a central issue, promising to build a wall along the southern border and crack down on illegal immigration. His controversial remarks about Mexican immigrants became a defining feature of his campaign. Trump promised to revive the American economy, particularly in the Rust Belt states, by bringing back manufacturing jobs, renegotiating trade deals, and reducing regulations. Trump and his supporters frequently attacked Clinton over her use of a private email server during her time as Secretary of State. The FBI's investigation into her emails and the subsequent reopening of the case just days before the election provided more ammunition for Trump's campaign. Despite Clinton winning the popular vote by nearly 3 million votes, Trump won the crucial swing states of Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, and thus clinched a victory in the Electoral College, which ultimately determined the outcome of the election. Trump's victory was seen as a huge upset, as polling data had suggested a Clinton win. On January 20, 2017, Donald Trump was inaugurated as the 45th President of the United States. His inauguration was marked by large protests, with many Americans expressing their opposition to his presidency. In his inaugural address, Trump emphasized his America First agenda, promising to fight for American workers, restore manufacturing jobs, and prioritize U.S. interests on the global stage. Trump's presidency was defined by a series of contentious actions, including issuing executive orders to ban travelers from certain Muslim-majority countries, pulling the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Agreement, and attempting to repeal the Affordable Care Act. His administration was also characterized by frequent clashes with the media, ongoing investigations into Russian interference in the 2016 election, and a highly polarized political environment. Trump's victory in 2016 was a triumph of populism and media savvy over traditional political experience. His success was driven by his ability to tap into the frustrations of a significant portion of the American electorate, particularly those who felt left behind by globalization and the political establishment. His outsider status, his use of social media, and his direct, often confrontational style helped propel him to the presidency. Trump's rise to power marked a dramatic shift in American politics, with his presidency signaling a rejection of traditional political norms and the growing influence of populist movements across the globe. If you want to see more content like this, make sure to like and subscribe.